Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Havisha, and this is Jasmine. I'm a counseling psychologist and a REBT therapist, and this is our first attempt to reach out to you all through Sweekriti. Sweekriti means self acceptance, and that's the whole idea behind this initiative to spread awareness about mental health through webinars as such, and to equip individuals and viewers who are reaching out to us with self help tools and provide a platform for everyone to reach out so as to move towards self acceptance and hence better mental health. Jasmine here will take over.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jasmine and I'm a counseling psychologist. So, since this is our first webinar, we just thought that we'd reach out to you all and give a basic introduction on what mental health is and a few strategies that we can practice by ourselves at home to improve our mental health, especially during these troubling times. So we just request you to keep maybe a pencil or a pen and a notepad with you so you can practice the strategies along with us as we go through them. And you could also just write down any questions or any doubts, any comments that you have. And we'll be having a question and answer round towards the end of the presentation. So you all could just type your questions in the chat right next to the video once we're done. Um, and all the worksheets that we're using in this presentation is in the link below, so you could just access that at any time. So I think we will
Begin
start
with
with
that.
yeah. Okay. So we're going to be talking about what mental health is. Mental health is not just an absence of an illness. Rather, it's a state of well-being in which we realize our own abilities. We can cope with normal stresses of life. We can work productively and fruitfully, and we are able to make a contribution to our own community. So it's not just an absence of something negative, but it's also a presence of something that helps us grow and develop and reach our own potential. It includes our psychological, emotional, and social health and plays a role in how we think, feel, and respond to situations. This is a brief um, differentiation between mental health and mental illness. So, mental health allows us to think clearly, acknowledge our thoughts and feelings, and respond to them in a meaningful way. So, we are aware of what is happening within and outside us, and we are able to cope with that. Whereas mental illness disrupts our mental state and interrupts how we think, feel, and behave. If we are mentally healthy, we can perform our daily tasks to completion. And mental health also includes personal growth and resilience. So, resilience is our ability to bounce back and recover quickly from any stress that we are facing. Whereas if we have a mental illness, we might have difficulty performing our daily tasks. It might be very difficult for us to get the motivation to do our daily tasks. And mental illnesses include a range of disorders that affect our mood, thinking, and behavior. A few indicators of mental health are stable and healthy relationships, feelings of resilience and confidence while dealing with stress, being able to regulate our changing mood, and experiencing emotions as they come. A few indicators of mental illness include pulling away from others and usual activities. We might also feel very demotivated to engage in activities that we previously loved doing. We might also feel hopeless and helpless. We might go through severe mood swings and we might not even know how to regulate those changing moods. And we might feel numb or like nothing really matters. We might just feel blank as well. So there are a lot of factors that impact our mental health, and all of these play a role in our mental health. So these factors include genetics, physical illness, social systems, discrimination and stigma, substance use or abuse, gut health, trauma, lack of sleep, long term chronic stress, exposure to environmental toxins, neurological conditions, hormone imbalances, our socioeconomic status, any vitamin deficiencies that we might have, our support system, and early childhood experiences or conditioning. So, all these factors, none of these factors work in isolation, they're all interdependent. So for example, if I am going through long-term or chronic stress and I don't have a support system which will help me get through it, or I don't have the resources that might help me get through the stress, my sleep might be affected. I might not be sleeping enough, or I might be sleeping a little bit too much. My hormones will be imbalanced, and my physical illness will also go down because my immunity will go down because of the chronic stress. But if I do have a good support system, if I do have healthy relationships, people who I can rely on, resources that I can use, I might use these resources to get myself help, then maybe my sleep and my hormones and my immunity might be a little better off, and my mental health will also be steady.
Okay. So now we'll see why is our mental health important. हम कभी ये पूछते हैं क्या कि हमारी फिजिकल हेल्थ इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों है? तो हमें ये पूछना क्यों ज़रूरी होता है कि हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ इम्पोर्टेंट क्यों है? बहुत ऑब्वियस होना चाहिए कि जैसे हमारा फिजिकल हेल्थ इम्पोर्टेंट है, वैसे ही हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ इम्पोर्टेंट है। हम काफ़ी बार भूल जाते हैं कि माइंड एक बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है हमारे बॉडी का और सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम का हिस्सा है। दैट मीन्स इट कंट्रोल्स almost every function of the body, and hence to keep our mind healthy is extremely important. So this is the whole importance of this webinar, that we want to give out few strategies that will help you improve your mental health. एंड ये आपको क्यों प्रैक्टिस करना है, क्योंकि ये सब कुछ इम्प्रूव होगा इफ योर मेंटल हेल्थ इज इम्प्रूव। जैसे कि फिजिकल हेल्थ इम्प्रूव होगी, डिसीजन मेकिंग स्किल्स इम्प्रूव होगी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ योर सेल्फ, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑन टास्क एट हैंड इम्प्रूव होगा, आपकी रिलेशनशिप्स इम्प्रूव होगी दूसरों के साथ, प्रोसेसिंग एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन, एबिलिटी टू डील विद एडवर्स और स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशंस, एंड ओवरऑल जनरल वेलबींग। तो अगर हमारा दिमाग शांत है, हम ये बोलते हैं कि हमें शांत दिमाग से काम करना चाहिए, ठंडा दिमाग रख के करना चाहिए, तो ये क्या है? ये यही है कि हमें हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ इम्प्रूव करनी चाहिए और उस हिसाब से हमारे सारे जो टास्क है वो करने चाहिए, ताकि हम उस पर अच्छे से कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर पाए, ताकि हम दूसरों को अच्छे से सुन पाए, समझ पाए, वो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही है हमको कहीं से भी वो अच्छे से प्रोसेस कर पाए, और कोई भी स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन है तो शांत मन से उसका सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ पाए, ना कि प्रॉब्लम पे फोकस करें। ये सब अगर होगा तो डेफिनेटली हमारा फिजिकल हेल्थ बढ़ेगा और हमारा जनरल वेलबींग जो है वो बढ़ेगा। नेक्स्ट विल मूव ऑन कि हाउ this particular situation of global pandemic is affecting our mental health. There are various domains that the global pandemic is affecting, like physical domain, that is our health. We all are afraid that when we go out, even for our necessities, or someone who has to go to their offices even now, might come in contact and put the family in danger, put themselves in danger, and there is no cure yet, definite cure yet, and we don't know when it is going to go out, and we are all very cautious and very fearful throughout. So this is affecting our physical health. Economically speaking, a lot of businesses are going down the drain. People are losing out their jobs. We all have seen news of people leaving cities and going back to their villages and struggling for money. We don't know when the stability is going to come, even after lockdown, if at all it opens or not. So economically, we are stressed about the stability of the finances. Socially, we all are practicing social distancing right now, which is not a very familiar concept to us, because we tend to celebrate each and everything with people. We want to move out. We want to watch movies. We want to go to the restaurants. We want to meet our friends. All of that is cut off, and definitely affecting our social life. All of these will affect you emotionally, because there are certain emotions that you might not have felt before, or might not have felt with such intensity. There is a certain amount of uncertainty going on, and that can produce anxiety, a fearfulness, and sometimes sadness. You don't know what to do staying at home throughout. So all of this can affect you emotionally, and all of these four domains are affecting your psychological health. Okay? So we'll see how we can improve our psychological health by practicing few strategies. So the first strategy we want to give out is mindfulness. It is a very important strategy and should be practiced almost every day. So mindfulness can be described as the practice of paying attention in the present moment. Its practices refer to deliberate acts of regulating attention through the observation of thoughts, emotions, and body states. नाउ हम बहुत बार बोलते हैं कि अरे दिमाग बहुत जगह पे चल रहा है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या ध्यान दे, क्या ना ध्यान दे। कितना सब कुछ चल रहा है, ये काम करना है, वो करना है, इस पे फ़ोकस करना है, इसकी बात सुननी है, कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा होता है। ऐसे टाइम पे अगर हम माइंडफुलनेस प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, तो हम जो प्रेज़ेंट मोमेंट है, उस पे जी पाते हैं। ना ही उसमें पास्ट का कोई इफ़ेक्ट होता है, ना ही फ्यूचर की चिंता होती है। आप यहाँ इमेज में देख सकते हैं कि माइंडफुल रहना क्या है, तो वही है जो हमारे सराउंडिंग में है, बस उसको महसूस करना है, प्रेज़ेंस में रहना है ताकि हम हमारे प्रेज़ेंट सिचुएशन के जो कंसर्न्स है या जो भी हमारे थॉट्स है, इमोशंस है, उसको प्रोसेस कर पाएँगे और उसको डील कर पाएँगे ताकि वो सिचुएशन का हमको सॉल्यूशन मिल पाएगा। तो हम ये एक्टिविटीज़ करेंगे। मैं जैसे ही बोल रही हूँ, आप ये एक्टिविटीज़ कर सकते हैं और जैसी एक्टिविटीज़ करेंगे और कुछ भी कमेंट्स या आपको फीडबैक देना है तो आप चैट सेक्शन पे टाइप कर सकते हैं। पहली एक्टिविटी है द फीलिंग एक्सरसाइज। नाउ इन द फीलिंग एक्सरसाइज आई वांट यू ऑल टू लुक अराउंड यू एंड टच डिफरेंट सरफेसेस, डिफरेंट टेक्सचर्स अराउंड यू। कोई भी सॉफ्ट मटेरियल, कोई रफ सरफेस, कोई हार्ड फ्लोर है आपका, अलग-अलग बॉडी पार्ट से आप टच कर सकते हैं टू फील डिफरेंट डिफरेंट textures on your body. Okay, take quick 5 seconds to do that. The next is the seeing game. Look around you, see what all you can see, name those items. You can even write down those items in the paper that you have kept with you. And उसका कलर देखिए, उसका साइज, उसका शेप, फॉर्म, कौन से मटेरियल का है, कैसे कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ कलर्स बने हैं उसमें, ये सब देखिए और अवेयर होइए आप कहाँ पे हैं, कौन से एनवायरनमेंट में प्रेजेंट है। Next is the power of listening. Power of listening, that सुनिए आजू-बाजू जो भी चल रहा है, क्या-क्या आवाज़ आ रही है, मेरे बोलने की आवाज़ आ रही है, आपके ब्रीथिंग की आवाज़ आ रही है, राइट? बाहर अगर कोई बात कर रहा है उसकी, पंखे या एसी की, ये सारे आवाज़ को पहचानिए और लिस्ट डाउन कीजिए। एंड लास्टली बॉडी स्क्वीजिंग एक्सरसाइज। ये ये आपने फीलिंग एक्सरसाइज किया, सीइंग गेम किया एंड पावर ऑफ लिसनिंग किया व्हिच alerted all your senses. Now get back to your body, squeeze all of your muscles tight and feel each muscle of your body. Be aware that you are in control of the situation, you are yourself in this situation, and slowly release your muscles. Slowly see how your body is releasing. This will gain back the control from any situation and make yourself be present, be aware of your thoughts and emotions so that you can process them better. Moving on to next activity. Next is journaling. This strategy I would request that everyone should practice daily if possible or at least once in 10 to 15 days. So journaling is the practice of writing down your thoughts and feelings on a regular basis for introspection and self-reflection. Uh, so you can take up a book. You can use a lot of templates which are available on the MHT website, and you can just write down anything and everything about yourself, whatever you feel, whatever you think, whatever you have done. तो अक्सर ये नोटिस किया है मैंने कि अगर जब हम कुछ भी लिख लेते हैं ना तो हमारे सामने आ जाता है और जब हमारे सामने आ जाता है तो हम उसको बेटर प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं। बहुत बार बहुत सारी चीज़ें घूम रही होती हैं, हमें किसको प्रायोरिटी देनी है, किस पे एक्ट करना है, किससे क्या फ़ील हो रहा है, वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा होता है। तो जब हम उसको लिख देते हैं, तो 2 चीज़ें होती है, एक तो कैथार्सिस होता है, आप सब कुछ पोर आउट कर देते हो और दूसरी चीज़ आपके सामने वो होती है, बहुत रियल हो जाता है, ताकि आप एक-एक, एक-एक थॉट को अच्छे से इम्पोर्टेंस दे पाएँगे और अच्छे से उसको प्रोसेस कर पाएँगे आगे। आप कोई भी फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं जर्नल, लेकिन just to give you a head start right now, you can use these two things. One is to use this template, that is take out 10 minutes to reflect on your day. You can just see these worksheets are also attached in the descriptions. You can see that what all is written in this worksheet. So at the end of the day, take out 10 minutes to write down 3 moments that you'd like to remember from the day, one idea from today that you like to explore further. ऐसा कुछ आपको नया आइडिया आया कि ठीक है मुझे अभी इस पे काम करना है, छोटा हो या बड़ा हो, कुछ भी हो सकता है वो चीज. Two events or new stories out in the world that caught your attention that you think are important for yourself. One of the day's triumph, that is your achievement. One of the day's challenges, any big or small challenge. And one thing you learned from your challenge or achievement. These things you can write down every day. Just take out 10 minutes for that. Nextly, you can use this emotional wheel. This emotional wheel gives out names of the feelings that you might have experienced throughout the day. We write down what we did, we write down what we thought, but often forget about naming these emotions. हमारी यूजुअल लैंग्वेज में नहीं यूज करते हैं हम ये कि आज मैं एक्साइटेड थी, हाइपर थी, या आज मैं नर्वस फील कर रही थी. बहुत ज्यादा नहीं होता है ये यूज. तो to get in touch with your emotions, use this template of emotional wheel and write down along with the moments that you would like to remember. This is the moment I like to remember and this is what I felt about it. So you can do this journaling activity every day. I hope it helps. Now that we are pouring out our thoughts in journals and we are labeling the feelings that we have experienced, let's look at the definition of thoughts, feelings and actions and see how they are interrelated with each other. So as you can see here, thoughts, words that run through your mind or what you tell yourself about a situation. तो कोई भी अगर सिचुएशन हो रही है उसके बारे में आप अपने आप को क्या बोल रहे हैं, those are your thoughts. फीलिंग्स आर इमोशंस दैट वी एक्सपीरियंस विथ रेफरेंस टू अ सिचुएशन. जो हमने इमोशन व्हील देखा उसमें से कोई भी आप अगर एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं देन दोज आर योर फीलिंग्स. एंड एक्शंस, द वे वी बिहेव इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय आवर थॉट्स एंड फीलिंग्स. तो यूजुअली हम जिस सिचुएशन में रिएक्ट करते हैं आर इज influenced by what we think about it and what we feel about it. यहाँ पे एक एग्जाम्पल है दैट सिचुएशन ये है कि माई फ्रेंड एम्मा हैजंट स्पोकन टू मी एज मच एज यूजुअल ओवर द पास्ट वीक. ये काफी बार हमारे डे टू डे लाइफ में भी होता है कि समवन डजंट टॉक टू अस एंड वी think a lot of things which might be true, which might not be true, and let's see how we can identify them and how we can change if the actions and the thoughts are unhelpful. So in this case, the thought is that Emma hasn't talked to me much this week. She must be mad at me. कि वो मुझसे गुस्सा हो चुकी है. That's why she is not talking to me. Feelings I'm getting is felt sad and hurt. And the action, because I thought that she is mad and because I felt sad, I am ignoring Emma at school. तो ये feeling और ये action definitely unhelpful है because Emma is your friend and you would want to talk to your friend, right? So the next step, when such situations occur that you are coming across unhelpful thoughts and feelings, which is affecting your action, it's important to accept the fact that okay, I have these unhelpful thoughts and feelings. So according to acceptance and commitment therapy, the missing link between what we think and feel and how we behave is accepting our thoughts and feelings for the present situation. Once acceptance occurs, you can commit to modify your thoughts and feelings in order to modify the behavior. So, suppose if you don't want to ignore Emma, you want to talk to her. So, that's the action, that's the desirable outcome you want. So, for that, you will have to accept the fact that, okay, what I'm thinking is unhelpful for me, might be true or might not be true, we can find out later. But it is unhelpful for me, and the feeling that I'm experiencing, that is sadness and hurt, is also unhelpful for me. So I would ask you to take a quick 3 to 5 minutes and list down such situations जहाँ पे आपको ऐसी unhelpful thoughts और unhelpful feelings आए हैं और वो unhelpful thoughts और feelings को ऐसे columns में list down कीजिए. और उनको रेट कीजिए फ्रॉम 1 to 10, 1 बीइंग लीस्ट ट्रबलिंग, जो आपको परेशानी नहीं दे रहा है, एंड 10 बीइंग द हाईएस्ट ट्रबलिंग। ओके, जो आपको लगता है कि हाँ बहुत ज्यादा अनहेल्पफुल थॉट और फीलिंग है, मुझे ये एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करना है। आप ये कोई भी थॉट, कोई भी फीलिंग हो सकता है, अपने आप पे ही रख सकते हैं, किसी से शेयर करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। दिस इज़ फॉर योर वर्क। डेफिनिटली अगर हेल्प फर्दर ज़रूरत है तो यू कैन ऑलवेज रीच आउट टू अस, एंड कोई भी डाउट्स, कोई भी क्वेरीज अगर है इसके बारे में तो यू कैन आस्क अस टुवर्ड्स द एंड।
Okay. So now that we've identified our unhelpful thoughts and feelings, we're going to try to modify them. So just because we have certain thoughts does not make them true. We can experience unhelpful thoughts and feelings from time to time, and accepting them could make it easier for us to modify them so that they are a little bit more helpful to us. So at times, whenever we're in a tricky situation, we might get a lot of thoughts in our head, one thought over the other, one after the other. So all these, just realize that all of these might not be true. A quick tip to see whether they are true or not is to challenge them, to see if this thought is a fact or not. Do you actually have proof for for believing this thought or not? So, in the example of Emma, her thought was that, sorry, yeah, Emma's my friend. So, in that example, my thought was that Emma is mad at me for something. And that thought wasn't very helpful for me because I ignored her and she is my friend. So, I would like to speak to her. So, we could just modify those thoughts, and then our actions and our feelings would also be modified a little bit. So, in our example over here, we've just made new thoughts. So the first new thought is Emma might be upset with me, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm not too sure. My new feeling could be that I'm concerned that Emma might be upset, but I'm not as sad as I was. And my new action would be to ask Emma if she is mad at me or if she has another problem. I can also make a second new thought, which is Emma has probably been busy with school or something else. My new feeling would be disappointed that I haven't spoken to her, but I do understand where she's coming from. And my new action would be I'll stay friendly with Emma as usual, and I'll be sure to say hi anyway. So can you see that once we have a new thought, once we've written down a new thought, our feelings and our actions go along with that new thought as well. They also change automatically. And our third option is that maybe Emma is upset about something unrelated to me. My new feeling would be that I am worried about how Emma is feeling. And my new action would be that I ask Emma what's going on and if she needs any help. So we can also try this with the unhelpful thoughts and feelings that you all have listed down before. Think of a situation that you experienced where you experienced unhelpful thoughts and feelings, and write down any new thoughts or new feelings. So you could take a minute to do this. Sometimes we can work backwards as well, where we try out a new action and thereby our thoughts and feelings change as well. So if I were to confront Emma and ask her whether I did something wrong or whether something else is bothering her, I would automatically have changed thoughts and changed feelings. Whether my original thought was true or not, I will have new thoughts and new feelings. So you could just try to make new thoughts and feelings. And writing them down is a very concrete step for us. It's like a little plan of action that we might have. So once we write these things down, it becomes a little bit more clear for us, for our future steps. Our next activity is decluttering. So maybe this presentation got a lot of thoughts in your head, or maybe just generally there are a lot of thoughts in your head, a lot of things going through in your mind at the same time. You're not really sure what to pay attention to, what to leave for later. So your mind kind of feels crammed. You might be feeling stuck, or you might just be, going with the flow along with those many thoughts in your head. So our activity over here is to declutter our mind. And we've taken a brain dump list with different categories. So you can just take note of all these categories, which is procrastination, fear, anger, discouragement, incomplete goals, and sorrow, and list down all your thoughts and feelings according to each of these categories. You can also mention any particular situations where you've experienced any of these, and some situations and thoughts might overlap, but that's all right. When you're doing this on your own, you can also add a few categories for yourself. So you could quickly just write a few things under each category. So, for example, under procrastination, I might have, 3 to 4 things that I've been procrastinating for a long time, that I've been pushing to the back of my mind, and I haven't been working on that. So, getting all this down on paper, we can actually see what is going on in our mind. It's literally a visual representation of our mind. So over here, we can focus on what is most important to us. Okay, I'm procrastinating these 4 things, but out of these four, I really need to do the first thing that I've written down, and the other three can wait for a little longer. Or maybe we can also see that a few things don't really matter, but we keep thinking about it. Um, so just get everything out there. And this also might help us to feel a little bit more relieved. And just like how we how we organize and settle our closets and cupboards, we can also organize our thoughts and feelings as well with the help of these type of brain dump lists, with the help of journaling that Havisha mentioned before. And it can give us a better perspective towards the situation, help us make clearer decisions, and be mindful of what is a priority for our attention and action just now, and what we can take on a little later. We're going to move on to grounding. So we've been doing a lot of thoughts and feelings, a lot of thinking work, and grounding really helps us to refocus on our present environment by using our senses. So it helps us reconnect with the present and can help us remove ourselves from experiencing any unpleasant thoughts or feelings. So grounding basically helps us detach from our thoughts and feelings for some time. So if I'm feeling very overwhelmed by doing my brain dump list, and I'm just like, oh my God, I have so many things lined up for me. I've been procrastinating on so many things and I feel overwhelmed. Grounding will help me take myself out of that thought process for just a few minutes and come back into my external environment so that I'm better equipped to deal with that situation at hand. So it helps us self regulate our thoughts and emotions. It helps us stay focused and anchored in the present. It reduces feelings of anxiety, sadness, any panic, anger, fear, and it also helps us uh, see that the threat might not be real at that moment. So, a lot of times, if we are feeling anxious, we are constantly worrying about a future threat that's going to happen to us. What grounding does is it brings us back. So, instead of going within ourselves, within our mind, grounding brings us back to our external environment, and it helps us regulate our flight, fright, or freeze response. So for our activity, we're going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique of grounding. You can just quickly do this with me. Look around and list any 5 things that you can see. Take 5 seconds and list any 5 things that you can see. Look at the colors, the different colors around you, the different objects. Now move on to 4 things that you can feel. You can feel it with different parts of your body as well. Push your feet into the floor, or if you're on a bed, then push your hands or feet into the bed. Run your fingers through your hair. Experience those different textures on these different body parts. Now concentrate on any 3 things that you can hear around you. Any small noise. Move on to 2 things that you can smell. So when you're doing this grounding technique, and if you really don't have anything to smell that's around you, you can just think of something that you can smell, any smell that you like, any perfume, deodorant, any scented candle, anything that you really like. Think of those smells. And one thing that you can taste. If there's nothing around you at that time when you are doing this grounding technique, you can think of something that you like to eat and experience how that tastes in your mouth. Visualize it. Imagine yourself eating that. So if you are someone who is prone to feeling very anxious or feeling very angry, or any larger emotional distress, you can also keep a small grounding kit with you, like a little small pouch with you of things that you enjoy. So a nice picture, something that makes you happy, any wool or something soft which makes you feel a little better when you touch it, any like a small chocolate or something that you can put in your pouch for when you are experiencing these intense emotions. After grounding comes positive affirmation. So these are positive phrases or statements used to challenge any negative or unhelpful thoughts that we might have. They are very easy to practice, and if done on a regular basis, it can help shift our perspective towards situations to a more positive side. So these are basically positive statements that we say to ourselves to help us feel a little better. So to form an effective positive affirmation, it needs to be about ourselves. It needs to be short and specific. It shouldn't contain words like can't, don't, not. Any negative worded statements should be avoided. And it can contain a feeling word. So, for example, instead of saying I will not fall ill, I can say I am healthy. I'm going to be fine. This is all going to be all right. So, in our positive affirmation activity, just form a few affirmations for yourself right now, which can help you change your perspective about any unhelpful thought or feeling that you've identified previously. So, this might help us build a little bit more confidence. And you can also use your journal's first page to write these positive affirmations and practice them daily. So, just take a minute to write any positive affirmation for yourself. You can say these as soon as you wake up or before going to sleep, or anytime you're faced with a challenging situation. I can give you an example of an affirmation that I've used. So my unhelpful thought was with regard to this presentation is that I'll make a lot of mistakes or I'll fumble while presenting. And the positive affirmation that I used is I will deliver this presentation confidently. It will go smoothly, and Havisha and I will do a good job. So that really helps me calm down, at least at that moment. So positive affirmations do help. And when we say it and really believe in it, it actually motivates us to work towards whatever we're striving towards. Okay, we're going to move on to identifying our strengths. Okay, so we're going to start with identifying our strengths after we've gone through this entire process. So, according to positive psychology, personal strengths are our inbuilt capacities for particular ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving. We all have strengths which help us grow in particular areas. So just take some time to look at our personal strengths, and it all looking at our strengths can help us focus on what we have and how we can build on those aspects. So when we're talking about strengths, we're talking about our internal qualities, things like being creative, courageous, or honest. So focus on these strengths, and especially do it when you doubt yourself or when you need a little, pick me up from your situation. So we're going to do an activity where we're going to just go through a worksheet which has 3 steps. Um, and the first step is to think of a current situation in which you've experienced a lack of sorry, this is part two. Think of a situation in which you experienced confidence and a feeling of satisfaction and self-worth. Okay, so imagine yourself in that situation where you are proud of yourself, you feel really good about your abilities to face that situation or anything that you've already faced before and conquered. So you feel really confident, and answer the following questions. So, what is that situation? Describe it. You can write it down as well. Describe that situation. What do you say to yourself about that situation? What self talk do you engage in during that situation? What are the thoughts that are going around in your head? How do you feel physically? What sensations and feelings do you have in your body? So, when we are confident, when we are happy, we have this sort of energy within us. So, that's a physical sensation that's within us. So, name any sensations and feelings that you have within yourself. And what do you do as a result of all these three first points? Now, hold on to that feeling of confidence, hold on to this situation while we move to part two. Part two is thinking of a current situation in which you experienced a lack of confidence that you would like to change if you could. So, again, what is the situation? Describe that situation. What is happening around you? Are there any people influencing you, or is it you alone? Describe it. What do you say to yourself about the situation? So, what self talk do you engage in? What are the thoughts that are going around in your mind when you're not feeling very confident? What are the things that you say to yourself? How do you feel physically? What sensations and feelings do you have in your body? So sometimes when we aren't very confident or when we're a little doubtful or a little scared, we might feel our stomach tightening, our muscles getting tense. We might, start sweating or feeling really cold. Our hands might start shaking a little bit. So what sensations did you experience when you went through that situation? And finally, what do you do as a result of these three things? Again, hold on to this emotion and these thoughts as well as we move on to part three. So look at part two, and using the information that you learned about yourself in part one, ask yourself, when I am in this situation where I'm not feeling very confident about my abilities, where I'm feeling a little low about this entire situation, what positive statement could I say to myself to be reminded of my power? Over here, you can even use a positive affirmation. You can identify your strengths and build on those. Anything that would encourage you a little bit and would get your confidence a little higher up. What could I do that would help me feel differently? So any action that I can do which will help me feel differently. Like in the new thoughts, new actions, new feelings little worksheet, I said that you can work backwards. So any action that would help me feel a little more confident, I could practice that maybe. So what action is that? so that my thoughts and feelings also change. And what could I do differently next time I am in this situation? What actions would empower me? So now that you analyze that entire situation where you haven't felt very confident, how could I build on my confidence level? How could I build my confidence level the next time I am faced with this situation? So identifying our strengths and focusing on them might help us build our confidence, especially in times of doubt. And finally, we come to melting down. So we've spoken a lot about different strategies. Um, you all might remember some, you all might not remember some. It might have been very overwhelming as well if you all had a lot of unhelpful thoughts and feelings during this process. Um, so a lot of unrecognizable thoughts and feelings might also surface when you're practicing this by yourself. So it's important to acknowledge whatever is going through, whatever our mind is going through, whatever we are feeling, and embrace all of that. And practice an exercise to just melt it down from your body. So take all the stress out from your body. So we've chosen an audio and just try to follow it um, and melt down.
Hey there, and thanks for gifting yourself these next few minutes. It's important to remember that you're a priority, and allowing yourself even just a few short minutes of intentional reflection can really have a positive impact on the rest of your day. So let's use these next few minutes to come back to center and set an intention for the rest of your day. Move into a comfortable position, whether you're seated at your desk at work or laying on the couch at home, and gently close your eyes and shift all of your attention onto your breathing, taking slower, deeper breaths than you've taken all day so far. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly letting it out through your mouth. And continuing to breathe that way, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale and contract back in as you exhale. Tune into your body, noticing how it feels. Noticing if there's anything that it's trying to tell you. Notice any place of tension or tightness in your body. Give those areas permission to relax, sending love into those areas. Thank your body for taking such good care of you, and let it know that it's okay to rest and relax for these next few minutes. You may notice that your mind starts to wander off. That's okay. That's natural. Just notice it and bring your attention back to your body, using your breath as your anchor. Try to picture one thing that's happened today that's made you smile, or made you thankful, or appreciative. Just let that feeling fill you up for a moment. Breathe that feeling in from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And allow yourself to smile if that feels natural. Now focus on something that you can do today, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, that will allow you to continue feeling this way. It could be something as small as deciding to go to bed early tonight, so that you have time to finally read that book that's been on your bedside table, or the joy of getting dinner with a close friend. What's one little thing you can plan for your day to bring that intentional joy to it? Now just focus on that for a few minutes. Sit in that feeling of joy and peace. Let's take a few more deep breaths together. A deep breath in, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale, and everything contract back in as you exhale. Again, an even deeper breath than the one before it. Holding that breath for a beat, and exhaling everything out. Last time, your deepest breath yet, sending that breath through your entire body. And exhale it out, and in your own time, slowly bring your awareness back to where you are. And thank yourself for taking these few minutes to just be intentional and kind to yourself. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. So I hope that all of you are feeling relaxed. You are feeling melted down. And so now we have come to an end of this presentation, uh, this webinar. We would love for you all to ask few questions, and you can post it in the chat section, and we'll try and address as many as we can. Further, if you have any doubts, if you want to follow up, if you want to reach out, please feel free to reach out to us through mentalhealthtoday.co.in or visit us on Instagram with Swikriti. We would be happy to help you.
So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that was helpful. And we'll just wait for a few minutes for any questions that you all might have. All these worksheets will be in the description below, as well as on the Mental Health Today website. So you could download them at any time. And thank you so much for your positive feedback and your positive comments. We're just reading all of that. I'm feeling very happy right now.
Yes, we are identifying our thoughts and
And our
acknowledging that, yes, what we did
Okay.
was a good job. Thank you so much. You can still give any feedback for any particular activity that you liked, that you didn't, however it worked for you, and we are here to address that.
You could also practice this by yourself and give us feedback at a later date as well. So if something didn't work for you, then maybe we can think of another activity. Or if something did work, we would love your feedback for that as well.
Sure. So this audio is available in the description. The link is attached. And
the GIF, I just Googled melting down GIFs and it came up. So we can share the link with you through your email ID as well. So Ashish is asking a question. How can we get negative thoughts how that keep coming, for example, about some future task? So Ashish, first is to identify these negative thoughts. You can also identify when they are coming. Is it any particular situation, or when you're feeling something, does it come during that time? And you can do a quick fact check about this negative thought. So is this thought really true, or is it just my mind, running around again? So if it's true, then you can work on your assertiveness skills. You can work on how to deal with these future anxieties that you might be facing. And one helpful thing would be to keep a thought diary where you just note down any negative thought that you have throughout the day. So as soon as a negative thought pops up in your head, you can just write that down. And after some time, you will slowly be able to see a pattern forming of your negative thoughts, of which situation really trigger those thoughts. And then you could try to modify them as well. So making small adjustments to those negative thoughts will help you in the long run. I hope that answers your question. You can also practice these thought modification um, activities that we discussed today.
Seema is asking, are these activities for all age groups? Few activities, yes, like the mindfulness activities, the grounding technique, um, the strength building, positive affirmations. Other cognitive based activities are not for very young children who are yet to develop cognition. Once they are, on the way to um, developing cognitive, like, identifying, being able to identify their thoughts and say it aloud, then these activities can be a little modified for them, their age as well.
And one thing that is helpful with children is that the adults around them, they also talk about how they are feeling and how they are thinking. So even our children will know how to express themselves as well if they ever feel that they want to share something. So that would give them a comfortable space for them to share. And then you could guide them on how to, maybe change a few thought patterns that might not be very helpful to them, how to boost their confidence.
um, Simran is asking, how does physical illness affect mental health? So, a physical illness of varied types, when you are ill, you will be stressed about, when will you recover? Is the medication working, not working? The hospital runs, all of those things can be quite stressful. This stress, along with the medications side effect, can induce certain hormonal balances, which can lead to mood swings, feeling of sadness, and sometimes anxiety also if the recovery is not happening quite soon. So these are certain ways in which physical illness can affect your mental health.
Okay. Another question is how to make a friend feel good and confident after a stressful incident in his or her life if he or she is low on patience. Okay. Um, so first, you can just hear your friend out. Let them vent out whatever they have to say to you. You can create that accepting environment for them where they are comfortable to tell you whatever they are experiencing or going through. Um, then you could also just give them a few self-help tips that would engage them, anything that they enjoy doing. So try to create tips that around what they enjoy doing so that they will also be a little bit motivated to do that. They won't get impatient very fast. And let them know that you're always there for them. You could also try to change their thoughts for them and show them how to change those negative thoughts that they're feeling. So if they're feeling like, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to do this, this is absolutely useless, why am I even trying? You could just help them change that thought. You can say, okay, that's a negative thought that you're currently experiencing, and we can just maybe modify this a little bit so that you feel a little bit more confident or feel a little bit more better about the situation and about yourself.
We have another question. What's the difference between mindfulness and grounding? It's a very nice question, actually, because both the activities were quite similar in the process of it, but the outcome and the intention of doing them were different. So, mindfulness is basically to become aware about your present scenario, about your present environment, and just acknowledge that, okay, this is where you are, this is what you are feeling, this is what you are thinking. That is being mindful. Whereas grounding is in the times of where you are, in extreme worry, you are very anxious, and you want to come back to your body to be able to handle the situation better at hand. So that's when we do the similar kind of activities, but grounding is a more quicker process than than mindfulness, and it's in a more immediate manner rather than mindfulness. I hope that answers your question. We have another question. Can the thought diary be kept digitally?
Yeah, of course, whatever works for you. It's just so that it's there in front of you for you to see. And it also depends on person to person. So some of us are comfortable using our phones and our laptops. Some of us like to write it down or draw it out, pictorially, or write a poem about it. So it's basically whatever works for you, and it's just a way to get all your thoughts out there, like out of your system, out of your mind, so that you can actually see them in front of you. So you can practice it however you like.
All right. Any more questions?
Okay, so if y'all do have any more questions, while this video is going on, y'all can type it out in the chat. And if y'all have some more questions later on, you could always get in contact with us. Thank you so much for joining us today, for taking some time out of your schedule. Feel free to reach out to us at Sweekriti. You can email us or find us on Instagram. And also, you can also reach out to Mental Health Today. So that Mental Health Today is like a website which is like a one-stop shop kind of thing, where you can find counselors online, where there are blogs, podcasts, webinars that have been uploaded. So anything related to mental health, you can basically find over there. And if you are having any trouble, or if you want to just vent anything out, you can always look at their list of counselors that have been approved by them and get in touch with them.
All right. I hope this webinar was informative and helpful. We hope that you will keep on practicing these strategies and work towards improving your mental health. We are always here. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, looking forward to see you all in our next few webinars
as
yeah.
well.
Okay, thank you so much.